Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you wanna give them love, then give them some more. Come on.
Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to. Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to. Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to.
Come on.
Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you
Give them more.
It's your favorite host doing the most. You know I love the boast. It's Mo Manifest tuning in, and welcome back to Give 'em Mo Podcast. Last week, unexpectedly we had to take a week off. Things in life can happen very unexpectedly, and that's kind of leading into today's episode. Everyone's personal business is their personal business. If you know, you know. So we're gonna leave it like that. But today we're gonna talk about stress. Because to me, in life, stress and emotions is the most silent killer. It's the loudest, but it's generally the most silent killer that most people will suffer through in life. And there's different forms of stress. There's different types of emotions you can experience. But today we're just talking about that open stress where you may have a loved one or even yourself or someone who you just know is enduring, but you don't quite know what to do. You do the best you can. You give advice. All of us is not the messengers for everyone as much as we like to be. So sometimes you can relay the same message to someone, but sometimes it takes a different messenger. But I believe 120,000 people a year die from stress. Stress is the number one cause of some of the worst ailments that you can have. It can affect you mentally, internally, but we also don't talk about stress energy. People don't talk about stress energy enough. They don't talk about stressing in the spirit realm because we know that everything comes in threes. So, in order for a person to officially break down, they will have to break in um, all three realms, and we know what those are, and the spiritual, the mental, and the physical. So a lot of times out of 10, you would think the physical, you probably could see the signs um, of a person that's stressed. And then you know it's in their mind, but generally you don't know when the person's spirit break because it's something that takes special eyes to see, a lot of wisdom to understand when someone is spiritually broken, mentally broken, and physically broken. Um, my thing would be to everyone is if you know someone that's just suffering and enduring, do the best you can to push that person or push yourself into the right direction, to get the necessary help that you may need to bring into your life. Because as long as we live this life, there's enough that we can go through on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of times, what we end up suffering from is decisions that we make. Now, others around us may make us want to believe that it's everything else outside of us, and sometimes it can be. But what it comes back to is that it's up to you. How you handle a situation. I'll tell you a story in just a second of why I probably deal with stress to this day differently than most people do, and why it always seems like I'm calm, even when situations aren't, the best. But actually, we could tell the story right now. When I was in college, this was a little while ago, probably 2015. Um, I remember walking out of the building, and I was what you call stressed at the time. And I went to this school for I believe 3 years, 3.5 years, DeVry University in Charlotte, the Charlotte campus. And you would generally see the same people, the dean, the security, and everybody the same. But today, when I walked out the building, the security guard that's normally there, he's always there. He was even there when I graduated to wish me farewell and stuff like that. But today, this particular was a different security guard, which didn't make sense to me. And as I was walking out, I guess I just had this look on my face, or he stopped me and he asked me what was wrong. And at this time I had to be like 19, 20, 21, right? Life is so much smaller than what can get to you, what can bother you, what can bring you down at that time versus probably 10 years from then. It's crazy. So I told him, I had a lot going on as far as school and trying to make money, working, and just trying to live life and figure life out. And I told him I was stressed out. And he looked at me and he said, "What you say?" And I said, I'm stressed out. Got a lot going on. It's a lot of pressure, blah, blah, blah. And he asked me, he said, "Who told you to put that much weight on the situation?" Because, see, a lot of times we going through situations and there is a weight system in our life, and it always equals a certain amount of weight. All of us can carry a certain amount of weight. You know, so the weight of the world on my shoulders, as they say. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, as they say. Things like that. We all have a certain amount of pressure, weight that we can carry. Everyone's made differently. Everybody's everybody's bend but break is to a different limit. Some people can be bent to furthest back and never break, and some people can be rattled and bent just a little bit and will snap in half. And there's nothing wrong with either, because at least when a person can't carry a lot and they snap, they get to the resolution of letting go and figuring out quicker. Generally, the stronger people are the ones that may not suffer in the beginning, but in the end, they end up with some of the worst consequences because they've been able to endure for so long. And I'm talking about enduring stress, because there is certain challenges and stuff in life that we do have to endure. And if you master those, you get the greatest rewards. But if you match that and accompany that with stress and unhappiness and stuff like that, you would also match your greatest reward with some of the worst consequences you can give yourself. So he asked me, "Who told you to put that much weight on it?" I said, "Nobody." He said, "Exactly." He said, "Always remember that in this life, that you do not have to put weight on anything, because you can always just give it to God or whatever you believe in. But even with that being said, no one told you to make this situation so heavy." And that always stuck with me. It stuck with me for up until now, probably for the rest of my life. It's something that I would tell people, because you generally see people stressing over things that they don't have to. And you try to tell people, "Hey, it ain't that bad. You just look at it this way." But when a person is going through and enduring, and have a person cope with stress, they never really realize that they create an avalanche. You know, a lot of us is icebergs. You can see what you see in the physical above the ground. The rest of us is underwater. That's the spirit. That's the mental. It's underwater. Actually, I would say that the mental is the water, and then what's under that is the spirit. You know, because we're gonna change that. Envision the avalanche. That's the physical. The water, the body of water, is your spirit. And then what you don't see is the person's mind. Yeah, I like that better, because the spirit is the bridge between the physical and the mental. So that bridge alone with those two, and self mastery, that's how you get better control of the spirit. But the spirit is bigger than the mental and the physical. This is a body. It's like a body of water. And the iceberg, excuse me, the iceberg is what we're using. You're the iceberg. The part sticking above the water, that's you. That's what people can see. The water is your spirit. The part under the water is your mind. Most people can't see how big and how deep your mind runs. But a lot of us have a bigger mind that can't be seen, that is just full of negative energy, stress, negative thoughts, thoughts of doubt. And the number one rules of manifesting is think about what you want and not what you don't want. See, a lot of us, when we're up, we're really up. And when we're down, we're really down. I try to practice being as consistent as possible in both. I never get too high and I never get too low. Now, some will say, well, you don't truly appreciate life because, you don't celebrate like others. And well, how do you don't truly go through this problem as others because you don't get as down. But my thing is, it's about maintaining the constant. Yeah, I'll be happy and celebrating, but I do understand in my world, it's about maintaining. So as you accomplish something, what you do with that accomplishment is as important as celebrating. Because a lot of us put a lot of work into getting somewhere, and then we get there, and then we got all the tools, we got all the knowledge, but we stop because it's time for us to do our part. It's no more textbooks, it's no more professors, it's no more parents, it's no more this. That's why everybody nowadays have to have somebody to show them something. That's why everybody nowadays have to have some type of mentor. And I'm not knocking none of this stuff, but what I am saying is that everybody nowadays need a guide, and then there's nothing wrong with it. But what you learn that when you jump off that bridge without a parachute and tell yourself, I gotta make it, then you begin to float. When you don't fear the air, you rise above the air. There are things denser than the air. When you're scared of the air, you're gonna drop like a rock. It's the same principle as swimming. You will drop like a rock. What you fear the most will drown you. What you fear the most will cause you to crash and burn. And then you accompany that with a mind that is stressed. You're operating with, it's like having an engine and you're 5,000 miles past the oil change, and you should have been changed the oil. At least if you're going to go through these things, which we all do periodically, make sure that you do the proper maintenance on your mind, your body, and your spirit. Because when it's all said and done, as my grandma said, you come in this world alone and you leave alone. But see, we also, in this world, a lot of us, the ones that are blessed, we accompany a lot of people, children, parents, friends, family. We accompany a lot of people. And if most of us try to keep as most of those people, which we know some has to go. Some people are seasonal, some people are lifetime, some people are just lessons, but everyone is a blessing in some type of way. Because if you taught me something, then I'm blessed. And all I'm really saying is that who told you to put weight on this situation? Because it's not worth not being here no more. Unless it's your time. But at least if it's your time, don't accelerate your time. Don't take yourself out of this realm. Don't punish yourself. Don't make this life what they call a living hell. Do the best you can to make this the best life. Because there's some people who has what you think is everything and they suffer in silence. And there's some people who look like they have little to nothing and they smile and are truly happy in life. And you learn that happiness is in the eye of the beholder. It's up to you to determine what is happy for you. Like I said, once again, it's your favorite host, Mo Wells. I got the sniffles, so I probably sound like I'm talking underwater, and I would go longer if I didn't have these sniffles. So we gotta make sure we get rid of those. Like I said, we're back on track. We never was off track. Just sometimes things happen. We apologize, but we keep moving in the right direction. And don't let stress, the silent killer, take you out. Make sure you rest. Make sure you appreciate yourself. Make sure that you just understand that you are very important, and that if you are selfish enough not to take care of yourself, it will affect others. Yes, we must put ourselves first, not just for ourselves, but to also understand that we all serve a purpose. And when we remove ourselves from this realm, we did ourselves a disservice. So once again, it's your favorite host doing the most. And you know a little both. Next Thursday, I will not have sniffles. I sound much better. But I thank you guys for tuning in. And once again, like I said, just let it go.
Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to. Give them more.